Hello, my name is Gia. Thank you so much for joining me today. Subscribe now for a new book review every single week. If my computer is so loud, and then I'm looking at my laptop here. So, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, A Counterintuitive Approach of Living a Good Life by Manson. So, first and foremost, I have a cold. I'm very sick, and that's why the lights are low, because I have been filming and I have a huge headache, and now it's just, here we are. But this book, let me know what you think in the comments. Give this a like, share this with your friends, subscribe for a new book review every single week. And I have self-growth, self-care, and self-image. That's what my channel is all about. So chapter 1, don't try. Just be. Happy? Question mark. Affirmations? Question mark. No, just be. Don't even try. Don't tell yourself anything. Stare new things in the face and take action to challenge. So this is something I really personally resonate with, because I am very... People think... yes, I do like to plan. I love planning. I think it's important to be prepared more than it is to plan. But it just goes hand in hand. But I really like to face things head on. If I have an issue, like I have a depression video coming up. If you subscribe, March 30th, coming out for how to get out of a social media depression rut, and how to face depression head on. And I'm very much like that. So if stick around, subscribe, and you'll see that video come out. Prioritize the F's to give. I'm not saying F because I'm YouTube monetization, but don't focus on trivial things. So don't give your energy, don't give your time, don't give your attention to things that aren't worth it. So find something meaningful that will give you what to give an F about that is worth it. Accept life as it is. Negative emotions are a call to action, which is something I learned about stress many years ago as a little kid. Cortisol rushes through your blood, through your stream or your hormones or something, and stress is an igniter for spark. I don't know if igniter is a word, but my head hurts, sorry. Stress tells you to take action. Stress tells you what to do. It's good to have some stress to get you to get up and do something. And negative emotions are a call to that. So psychologists refer to this as the hedonic treadmill. So endlessly changing to fix our life situation, but we don't really feel that different. So the person you marry is the person you end up fighting with. The house you buy ends up being the house you repair, and those maintenance costs are exorbitant. The dream job you get is the job that you eventually stress over and you think, I want a new one. I deal with that a lot with my husband. Everything comes with a sacrifice, so there are always negatives. And my dad always said, even in hell, there are rules. There's always some sort of structure to some sort of balance to what we think that there, even if it's a free life, free form out there. So what we gain is also what we lose. And what makes us feel good also makes us feel bad. What makes our positives also create our negatives. But it's two questions here. What pain would you rather have? What pain would you choose in life? Prioritize that. So what would you struggle for? You want the corner office, but then you don't think about the 60-hour work week. Everybody sees on the outside the great success. When someone is successful, all of a sudden they just see them enjoying their life and being rich, but they don't see them grinding for hours and hours and stressing and not going to sleep and worrying about their family and all the relationships with their friends, because they're so busy working on their own self. And then when family does see that and friends see that, they're happy for them or they're not happy for them. So you want great intimacy, but not awkward conversations. It's hard to break barriers in getting to know someone, but you want to be close with someone. You want abs, but you can't put chocolate down. If you can relate, give this a like, comment below. If you fail at something repeatedly, it's because you don't want it enough. I was reading the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, and there's a book review here somewhere. Check out the link. And it is he mentions how he asks a bunch of people what makes a successful this and this. And there's one baseball coach. He asked, what makes a successful baseball player? And he said, all these platitudes that you normally hear about having good habits and chasing your dreams and goals and achievements. And he said something that stood out was you have to be able to be strong enough to, something along the lines of, be strong enough to show up to the boring task of training. So if you are willing to do that, you want the result but won't put the work in process, your actions tell you what you want. And also in that book he mentions how how people will set up a habit tracker to see, do you it keeps you honest when you have a habit tracker, because if you check every single day, I have one here for my supplements, like if you keep a tracker every single day, the X's are so small, I just started doing this one, then you will see your progress. And it also keeps you honest with what your actions are versus what you think your perception of yourself is doing. We always think we're a little bit better. Other people think we are a little bit better or a little bit worse versus what we actually are. So that's a huge difference to tell. So Pete Best from the Beatles, the original drummer before Ringo, he was like a young, handsome man, but then the record label, I think, booted him for some odd reason. And 4 months later, the Beatles blew up, and he kind of had to, he was like suicidal, and he had to kind of reframe his mindset into thinking, okay, what is actually worth prioritizing? What do I have to worry about now that my life is not what I thought it was going to be when I was one of the original founding members? And he prioritized his life, a regular, beautiful, incredible, magnificent life with having a family and finding a job and being Pete Best. And the value metric is what we set our sights on. And Sigmund Freud said, when looking back, the moments of struggle are the most pleasurable. And I have to admit to this too, because growing up when I was 19, I was really struggling with my purpose. I knew my identity. I knew what I wanted to do, but like getting it out there and how to share this, what I'm doing, was really hard. And I had like no connections because I was 19, and I had some connections, but I didn't know how to use them. I didn't know what I was doing. So but looking back, that was the most developmental time for how I found out who I was. Anyway, you always choose is what William James said, one of the greatest psychologists. And we control how we interpret what happens to us and are responsible for how we handle those things. So some people think in what is wrong versus what is right, when the truth is we should be thinking what is wrong and what is less wrong. It's a bit more gray. Like there is no black and white when it comes to the things that we want to do that make us successful or make us happy or make us balanced or fulfilled or full of purpose, whatever value metric you use to measure your life. I personally don't use happiness because I think that's so dull. It's so cliche, and not just cliche, but truly humans biologically innate in us to be depressed and have contention because we love a challenge. We love, how do we fix this? And the greatest minds are constantly looking at how do we solve new problems, or how do we solve old problems that have not been changed or dealt with? How do we make things better? Optimization. Something I thought was very valuable in the book that he mentioned: certainty is death, and lack of growth, when you think you know everything, is the moment that that's when you need to go back to the drawing board the most and rethink your life. Because you have to have like some decent self-doubt and second guessing yourself in order to grow. And when you know that you don't know things, that's when you grow the most, when you take action based on what you don't know or what you want to know. Another thing he says tied to this is racists do racist things because they're certain about their genetic superiority. Religious people blow themselves up, and other people because they're certain of their beliefs as martyrs. Men rape because they're certain they're entitled to women's bodies. So evil people believe everybody else is evil, and that's like the poison of being certain. There was an experiment done by Stanley Milgram, and they're called the Milgram Experiments. Milgram? I'm married to a Brit, so I have to say everything his way to appease him and so I don't get corrected. So researchers told volunteers to punish each other for breaking rules, and people punished each other up to the point that it escalated to violence. And the problem isn't that certainty is unattainable, it's that the pursuit of certainty breeds more and worse insecurity. So in this study, they found that the people who were punishing others were like, they felt really sanctimonious about it, and other people didn't question them. They just like kind of agreed and went into this conformity state of mind. And it's really like none of the punishers asked for objective or explanation. On the contrary, they just like felt proud and relished in the sanctimoniousness. So humans are actually happier with less. So like, I understand this, where the less problems you have, the more you can do with your life without having a chip on your shoulder. The less bills you have, the more you can do with, the more freedom you have, essentially. So the less stuff you have, the less you have to worry about. So that is freedom through, there's another, sorry, my brain is so scrambled. I have a huge headache. Freedom through commitment is something that Mark Manson also mentions, where sometimes we're overwhelmed with too many options. And I had this happen to me recently with emails. I was listening to all these female entrepreneurs and I thought, you know what? I don't need to listen to their advice. I just need to implement what I already know, because they're already saying a lot of the same thing, and it's just validating what I already know. It's validating that the information that I have, whether it's from them or from another source, is already good. So I just need to actually implement, take action, and not have them like hounding me. So I need to like push those emails to the spam. But so I'm overwhelmed with too many options and I have to focus on one thing. And if I focus on one thing, actually doing the things, I will understand it better. I will find it, I will have more depth within that relationship or whatever it is I'm doing. So when in a relationship, there's more purpose and freedom because you have to earn it. And when you work for things, you're obviously you feel better, you feel more accomplished. So something a lot of business owners know, I'm a business owner for those of you who don't know, is the more you simplify things, the better it is for you to execute it coming from wherever you're coming from. And I did this with my business. Like last year, I had this endless checklist of things I had to do. I did all of them. And this year, my job was to simplify. That was like my goal. And I did it. And I felt like it took me a year to build this thing, but simplifying it expedited the process of my success when it came to finishing it. But first time you drink at a party is exciting, but the 500th time is not as exciting. So it's just another weekend. So increase opportunities in rejecting distraction and alternatives in favor of what he chose to truly matter to him. So this is me writing about him. Is that, yeah. So commitment hones your attention to focus and makes decision making even easier when it removes fear of missing out. And when what you have is good enough, why would you stress about having more? That's a very frivolous mindset. It's a scarcity mindset. And I have this a lot too, where I think, oh, there's always something better. There's always something better. There's always something better. When someone texts me, hey, you want to do something? And I'm like, I don't want to see you right now. It's so mean to say, but you have to focus on highly important goals to be able to achieve more, and you have something to stay in that you can go deep. So my friends and I were talking about this, about the best relationships are the ones that have the most uncomfortable situations where you guys explore each other through doing so many more things than just, hey, coming over to each other's house or going out to dinner every single week, whatever it is. What you do is you add more activities that are a variety of things, so you get to know the variety of emotions they have in handling different situations, and they grow, and over time they might handle those little things that you guys do together, those little adventures and excursions, differently. So you guys grow together, you guys get to know each other, but that's a lot of investment, and not a lot of people are willing to do that. They just want to feel like the initial high of seeing someone new for another time and like feeling good, and it's just like an endless game, especially here in Los Angeles, because in Los Angeles, everybody is replaceable. That's the kind of mindset we have. And that's why commitment gives us a lot of freedom, in the sense that we earn it and we have to work for it. And it's more delicious when we have it. So let me know what you think in the comments below. There's a lot of points I obviously didn't mention, and I was trying really hard to not really say everything. But this book is fabulous, and you can get it in the link below. And give this a like, share this with someone who you think could definitely use this book, because I think, what do I ultimately think? This book is a very profound validation of what I already knew, but now I know more cool stories just to like back up my own thoughts. Wonderful to hear that someone else is on the same page as you, and let me know if you are for this, against this. If you don't care, comment below. Thank you so much for watching. Come back next week, subscribe. I have another book review coming out. I'll see you later.